the GUAC maintain this meeting. This meeting is going to be recorded and will be published online. Participation in the meeting is in accordance with LF antitrust policies as well as OpenSSF code of conduct. All right. I guess quick announcements before we get started. We discussed moving this meeting to every 2 weeks. Seems to have consensus amongst maintainers, so we are going to switch to that format. Reasons being that since we have a lot of the work around getting the Trustify in, as well as much of the heavy lifting that is done. So based on the topics that we have, plus I don't think there's anything that we urgently need like a week kind of feedback, and otherwise we can use Slack. We agreed that 2 weeks seems to be a good cadence. So keep a lookout at your calendars. I know calendars are wonky, so it may be updated if you get in on the call and don't see anyone and still your calendar. Let us know if there's anything we have to fix it. Cool.
Brandon, do you want me to take care of getting that changed with OpenSSF operations?
Yeah, that would be great, Ben.
Okay. And so we'll start from today. So the next one would be, crap, I haven't changed my wall calendar yet.
17?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and then
okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, we'll do.
Awesome. Cool. Do we have any topics for today? I think there was a Slack message, which was kind of interesting. Maybe we can talk about it. Otherwise, Brenton, Shreyas, and anything for you guys that you want to talk about.
Hey, so hi, I'm Shreyas. I'm attending this for the second time, I guess. I'm from GuideWire, and I have one thing to discuss. So there is one PR that we have opened regarding scorecard. The getting vulnerability scores. No, that one is merged. The scorecard certifier. So just wanted to check if you guys can maybe review and give some feedback and let us know if that can be merged. So I can give an overview in this forum, if that is okay, what I'm talking about exactly.
Yeah, please do. Are you referring to 2791?
You're talking about issue number, the pull request 2791. So we have an alternative implementation also, which is much shorter. So this one was initial design that we thought we can have two certified implementation, and based on flag we'll switch over to one or the other. But there is one more implementation which I have. I'll send the link here in the chat. You can quickly take a look. So this is just much leaner version of the pretty much same functionality. So all it does is it makes a call to the scorecard API, and if you get 404 from the scorecard, it falls back to the existing flow without any change. So if I think the earlier one is a pretty big change, it seems it's marked as XXL PR size. So maybe if this version is much simpler, and if we are all okay, we'll test this out a little more. I've run the tests are passing, but we'll test it out thoroughly in our environments and make it an official PR.
Yeah, could you add the link into the meeting notes so if someone can do that? I don't have access to the chat on this.
Okay. I'll
Or if you can put it in Slack or something.
add, where should I add? I'll add it in the agenda.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah. So my understanding is that, so what you're saying is, what this is doing will supersede the PR, the currently open PR, or are they complementary?
Correct, the currently open PR.
Okay.
So this implementation really, it just makes a call to the REST API, and if it gives 404, it falls back to the whatever workflow is existing. But I'm actually also in favor that we deprecate the existing workflow of computing the scorecard, because that's quite heavy operation. You have to make a lot of gRPC calls to GitHub APIs, and it if you don't have paid account, it sometimes also runs out of rate limits and all. So it's probably better to just leverage the already computed scorecard that are available.
If I recall, I think one of the issues that we ran into was that we were trying to run scorecard on particular tags or particular commit numbers, which scorecard doesn't, like the scorecard.dev infrastructure doesn't run on every single commit, unfortunately. So we were seeing gaps. But I think in the case where it's available, maybe things have changed, right? But that was what it was before. But I
Yeah,
think
no,
in
you
the
might be
case,
right, actually. Yeah.
yeah, I think in any case, I think what you're proposing is better, right? In the sense of we're gonna query the API if it exists, and we're not gonna request the running of it.
Mhm.
And then in I think probably 80% of use cases, that should be fine for most people.
Yeah. So, I mean, if this is okay, I'll raise a PR with the new change. So just to keep things simple, I've not introduced any flag or such. It's just by default calls the API and it falls back to the existing implementation.
Let me see. I'm thinking through like the dependency, whether there's anything to consider there in terms of who you're calling out to. Um,
So I think what I'll do is I'll open an alternate PR, marking it as an alternate PR for the same issue. We can take a look offline, and maybe if everything is good, we can probably merge it.
yeah, I think that sounds fine. Yeah, I don't think there should be any issue. At least none that I can think of, because the other one also still requires you to go talk to GitHub. So it's not, it's already a certifier that requires access to the internet.
Yeah, pretty much
Oh,
all certifiers requires access, I guess.
yeah. Do you, a quick question here. Do you know if there's any rate limits on the API? I think one
Uh,
of the other considerations is also that.
yeah, so I went through the docs. It doesn't seem like there is any uh, requirement for token also. I mean, you just make a call without any authentication or any identification. Um, I'll maybe check in more detail, but I don't think there is any. It's a pretty lightweight call, so it's just a get call. So, but I'll confirm that. And
All right.
also it goes through the same flow as the existing certifier, where it supports latency parameter and interval parameter. So we can adjust that probably if we run into rate limiting issue, which are configurable.
Cool. No, sounds good. I like that. I think the approach is good.
Yeah, no, but that's a good point. I'll reconfirm any API limits, rate limits.
Yeah, I think whenever you're ready, just open up a PR and tag us in that.
Yeah, all right, cool. Thank you. I think that was my agenda. I hope I didn't derail the any other conversation.
No, that's what this meeting is for. So thank you for bringing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Brent.
Yeah, just kind of more of a separate update from my end. I um, submitted a PR on the Helm charts side for GUAC. I think Mike approved it, and barring any other items that need approval, basically it's just using that as a baseline. Hey, what is it? Is there testing, other information that or requirements I needed to be aware of when modifying the GUAC Helm charts? And it doesn't appear there is, to my knowledge, but that was just kind of a baseline run for me. And so I was just kind of throwing it out there. There's a PR open and approved. I have a couple more that I would like to make. I think I made an issue for one of them. And so just trying to, again, cast ideas out and say, is this valid? Is this relevant? If not, please shoot them down. And all of that more broadly aligns to the air gap discussions that we've had in the past. I still very much want to pursue those. I started thinking more broadly about how to meet parity with the current uh, easy demo process, right? So the current stand up guac real quick with Docker Compose and run the CLI, and it's all local host and all that works great. That is something that I want to try to extend to like a Kubernetes demo. Um, but with that comes a little bit of like orchestrating complexities of, okay, well, how do we like expose all the ports needed to hit all the endpoints without making this too complex to run on somebody's, local kind or K3D cluster. So a long-winded way of saying like I still have the air gap stuff kind of like sitting in progress. I need to debug one known problem about uh, DNS resolution from the OCI collector. And once I have an accurate reading on what the issue is, then I will submit that issue so that we can review it and then maybe offer some alternatives. But outside of that, I'm just kind of trying to put the puzzle back into a more coherent picture. And then once that's all available, hopefully start to make progress on it.
Awesome. I'm kind of curious. Are you trying to run the OCI collector in the air gap that talks to a OCI registry within that same network?
Not only within the same network, but within the same cluster.
Okay.
And so I think that there's a problem with like internal Kubernetes service resolution and the way the OCI collector expects the DNS to resolve, to where it can't actually resolve like service name dot namespace dot yada yada yada.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, curious to know what your discovery is there.
Yeah, I've got it about outlined. I think I can write the issue here soon. I just need to like really just go back and replicate it. And that shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, I think for the coming back to the Helm charts, um, I think those are not part of the doc. Wait, let me see. I think there is one part of the docs with the Helm chart. I think just making sure that that gets updated. Um, which it seems like this is optional. This is an optional feature in which probably the intro docs shouldn't need. Otherwise, I think, Ben, I feel like there may be some uses of the Helm charts that we can kind of like put in the next release, but otherwise it doesn't seem like this feature is gonna um, negatively affect anyone.
I agree.
Awesome. Dayan, do you want to maybe? I saw a few announcements of the new trusted file release and also the ADR. Um,
Yes, so basically we're trying to do release weekly, the minor ones. So I don't want to like send all the updates every time, but I thought last week when we did 0.041, it would be good practice that for like time to time when we have like more things to do to actually provide like a set of things that we were working on and set of new features and fixes there. So that was that announcement. And for the ADR, it's one thing that we are working on. It's basically we have an thing that we are ingesting documents from different sources, and then once ingested, they're parsed, they're stored in their details are stored in the database. But from time to time, we have a need to basically re-ingest those documents, because at the time the parsing logic wasn't perfect, or new things that we need. So we are trying to and the thing is how we do this correctly, because sometimes there are no original sources. So if things are ingested using the REST API or something like that, so we try to find a way to do this in a controlled way, to define like a database migrations, but that will also include going through the like object storage where we put things locally or on S3, and reprocess all the documents there to change the schema in the database if needed, but also update the data when that things. So it's still work in progress. One things we are working on is we had like a limited CVSS scoring ingestion because of various libraries didn't support all the versions, and yeah, we had like a incomplete also database schema for that. So we are trying to update one of the guinea pig for this new feature will be updating all the vulnerability scores from all different formats properly support. So for CVSS4 and things like that. So I think Jens just wanted to point people to it because yeah, it includes a lot of architectural changes. So if anybody have an interest to look at it and give the feedback, it's a good opportunity to do so.
So if I understand, this is more for like version upgrades or like making changes, or is this also including like there was a failure in a component and then you want to like backfill it as well?
Yeah. So basically, upgrading the version of Trustify can change the schema, but in the future can also re-ingest certain documents, reprocess them. Maybe that's the better term, and ingest new data. Yeah. So we had also these kind of things already, for example, and it involved manual, manual operation. For example, we didn't handle a lot of licenses until recently. So as bombs needed to do like you upgrade Trustify the database schema, you get everything you need, but then you need to do a manual operation to reingest everything that you want to actually get the new data in the production instance. So this will just enable this to be done as an upgrade process.
It will take a look. I think like at least the internal systems that we have has this issue also. So we have quite a bit of we have seen some problems with it. So I think this will be interesting to take a look. But it looks like your approach is similar to ours. It's just like you have a store, you just like your source of truth, and then you're reprocessing it.
Yeah, and after a discussion, our source of truth it's internal object storage. So that's one of the things that we worked on here.
Awesome.
Yeah, we also have similar use case. So we actually what we end up doing is drop the GUAC database and reingest from the source again from S3. So do you think this with this ADR implemented, we would not need to do that? This will reprocess and get the additional data.
Oh, well, yeah, this is for the Trustify project. So it's not, if I understood you correctly, you're using GUAC, right? So
Yeah.
it won't affect GUAC at this point, but maybe we can, think about, how to, do something similar for both. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I feel like at some point we need to have that discussion about like the data model, and once we have that common data model, we can easily migrate in between the two systems.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the first things that we discussed is like a common use cases. So data model and like being able to ingest and maybe now like a re-ingest or reprocess things
Yeah.
with the same tooling between the both projects, right? That would be an awesome goal to do.
Yeah, like if Trustify help solve this like data migration problem based on like a single schema, then like we can just start just having GUAC point to that backend and uh, saves everyone a lot better. Cool. Sounds good. Do you think this is something that the team wants to discuss at a meeting, or just do this offline for now?
Yeah, let me circle back with Jens tomorrow because he mostly worked on this ADR. I worked on the scoring logic, and we can see maybe how to better present all this, and maybe that could be a good starting point to discuss it later on.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, it's huge. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's if you would like additional feedback. I think if not, if it seems like there's already quite a bit of conversation here. So if you think you don't need it, then that's fine.
Yeah, cool. So I'll ping you tomorrow with more details on yeah, more feedback is always welcome. But even like if feedback is too much time for anybody, at least we can show how it works and then figure out if we can redo similar things in GUAC as well, or try to work towards that common middle format or tooling for these kind of use cases.
Sounds good. If I'm not wrong, a lot of the main content is in the .md file in the PR, right? The reprocess.
Yes, yeah. That's the main idea. Let me try to. I think the preview for some reason doesn't work. You can see that it started in August, so that's how how all this. I mean, how much time it got to evolve, but yeah, it's 009. So file. I think this is the. Just a sec. Yeah, so this is the ADR. I think this is the main thing to take a look at. Other things are for now like implementation detail in Trustify.
Okay, sounds good. Cool. Awesome. Let's see. Any other things on the agenda? If not, I think we'll see everyone in 2 weeks then.